Good evening and welcome to the December 8th, 2014 meeting of the Wakefield Board of Selectmen. We have a few items on the agenda tonight, but before we get into it, I just want to explain to folks, if you're waiting for us to come on air, that we were in executive session this evening starting at 7 o'clock, which was on our published agenda. That ran a little bit long, and so we're now getting the meeting started, the public portion of the meeting. And so with that, let's move into approval from our November 24th meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Betsy, second by Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Thank you. Since there's no public here, I'm assuming we have nobody signed in for public participation. Next item is personnel and appointments. We have a few to do. First one is the appointment to the retirement board. There are two candidates, Daniel Calori and Robert Shaw. Steve, I believe we need to vote for one of those.
Yes, there's one opening.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Daniel Calori of 24 Wave Avenue.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved by Betsy, second by Phyllis. Any discussion on the motion?
Well, I don't know Mr. Calori. I'm sure he's wonderful. I know Mr. Shaw. So I just wasn't sure, Betsy, if there was a reason.
Daniel Calori has served on the retirement board before, and we've never had any issues that I know about. I've found him, I've had many dealings with with regards to the retirement board, but very bright, very with it, very knowledgeable, and very serious about it, I guess.
Yeah.
And gets along very well with the other retirement board members, which represent other factions of
Yes.
the community.
Okay.
And I've had dealings with him. He's a very bright man and really interested in the town, and I know he would do a good job.
No, that sounds perfect. If there's ever an opening, I think Bob Shaw would be a
Right,
wonderful.
I think we will probably, seeing where the vote is going, I'll reach out to Mr. Shaw because he does have a lot of talent, and there may be some other areas in the town he's interested in
Sure.
volunteering. It's
Right.
very heartening to get very good volunteers when we
Absolutely.
advertise.
Well, and this is all you're doing, Phyllis. I think we advertised for these positions, and lo and behold,
Yeah, it's worked out really well.
somebody quite qualified showed up. So
Right.
I'd hate to, if you're watching, thank you for putting your name in to keep them in the mix. So when good people want to help out in the town, we want to find opportunities for them to participate. So
Through you, Mr. Chairman, we do not have alternates on the retirement board, do we, Steve?
No, we do not. And I don't think that we can either.
No, I didn't, I just wasn't sure.
yeah, I
Thank you.
inquired about enlarging the board. We can't.
No, I know,
So
yeah.
just he's clearly qualified, but just so Steve, do what you said there and reach out to him and we'll give him our gratitude and let's make sure he stays in the fray. Because again, we really appreciate it. So,
Excellent.
all right. So we have a motion on the floor from Betsy, seconded by Phyllis. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you. Next one, acceptance of resignation from the Board of Registrars. So Kate Morgan and Jane Good, and I understand this is related to the fact that they hold elected positions. So
Move that we accept with gratitude the resignation from the Board of Registers of Catherine Morgan and Jane Good.
Second.
Betsy, second by Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. All right, and our appointment, Kathy Bolio.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, as my other hat that I wear, Chairman of the Democratic Town Committee, have been approached to suggest someone. And I think Kathleen Bolio, who many of you know, she works at the Savings Bank, would be fantastic in this position. I did speak with her and ask her permission to put her name up for nomination, and she would be our position, one of the two, because there's four. It's split, 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans. The town clerk is Democrat, and then Kathleen, if she is voted in tonight, would be the other Democrat. And then there are 2, well, now there's only 1 Republican member, but that would have to be filled later. So I would appreciate if the board would support Kathleen Bollier. She's quick, she's smart, she's clever, she'll be fantastic. Thank you.
Was that a motion?
A move that
Why
we
don't you do
accept
that in the
Kathleen.
end? Yeah.
And I'll second.
Apparently Paul seconded, and any discussion? We all good? Okay.
If she works at the savings bank, she's gotta be good.
I heard they'll hire anybody. Aye.
And,
All right.
Mr. Chairman, we've been in contact with the Republican Town Committee, and they'll be forwarding a name for our next
Great.
meeting, so.
Super. All right, next item. Time to skewer our town administrator. Town administrator's review is up, or it's time for us to do his review as part of our regular duties as the Board of Selectmen who hire him. And I believe, I understand each member of the board has had an opportunity to sit down with Steve or otherwise discuss with him his performance, feedback, and recommendations and so forth, so assume that's all happened. With that said, if anybody would like to, we'll maybe go around the table and provide, open comments here. Phyllis, would you like to, sorry, it's all right.
That's all right.
Phyllis, would you like to
Yes.
tell Steve what a good or bad job he's doing in your,
I'd like to have something to say about this review. What I want to say first is that these 5 sheets of papers that they give us where we have to go over with Steve, and on this first sheet, it gives like, keep the board informed and provide information. I know everybody sees Steve, and whenever they want, they call, but I think perhaps, I hope I'm not a nuisance, but I think I'm the one that sees Steve Mayo practically every week. One of the reasons for that is that I do get a lot of phone calls, and the people stop me in the stores, even when I walk downtown, and they come up with a lot of things that they said that they want it fixed, they want it repaired, they want it brought to the attention of the town, and I go to Steve. And the thing that's important to me is some of these things are small things in the scope of the general public, but they're very important to the people. And I don't know if I have ever worked with anybody who has been more helpful, who has been more fair, who listens to everything, who will, from the smallest issue to the largest issue, he's there. And it's one of the things that I find with Steve that's very to me, And as far as keeping this board informed, I don't know if anybody who does a better job. I know I'm always informed of every single thing that goes on. I get all the information. Sometimes I'm being honest, I'm not quite as knowledgeable as I compliment all these lawyers and all these people that have been here, as they are, and it has to be told to me in plain language so that I can give it to the people in the town in plain language. And Steve is always there for me to do that, okay? And, I mean, there really isn't much. I find like we've had some problems with personnel in the town hall that I don't feel like that they're there for us, that they don't respond to us. And I know I've gone to Steve, and I know he's tried to help, and we have to do a little bit more in that area. And then, as far as that's concerned, he prioritizes everything. And I could go on, and I have to say, you always say there's room for improvement, and the highest score here for what they put on this piece of paper, this sheet. Everybody is 5, right? Yeah. I'm sorry, I hope that didn't come up.
No, it didn't.
that's all right. All good.
And
Yeah.
I won't give him a 5 because next year I might want to give him a 5. So I'm going to do 4.9. But I got to tell you, as far as I'm concerned, in my relationship with working with Steve and seeing what he's done with this board and what he's done and how he's responded to everything, he's top notch.
Great. Thank you, Phyllis.
Thank you, Phyllis.
Phyllis has said many of the things that I would say truthfully. This is my 6th review of Steve, and as I've stated in the past, and I will say it again this year, I'm completely satisfied with Mr. Mayo's performance as town administrator. I agree with the goals that he set forward and sent to us maybe about 3 weeks ago. And I must compliment him specifically with one of my favorite pet things, and that's regionalization without loss of services, but becoming more efficient and a savings of money, direct effect on the positive effect on the budget. As I said, I agree with everything that's on that 5-page or however many pages it is. I'm going to give him a 5, and I feel as though the best is yet to come. I think every year it gets better and better and better, more efficient type thing. It's just a well-run machine, and I compliment Steve Mayo. I think we're very lucky to have him at the helm with all of his department heads, and he works wonders, and I couldn't be any happier with it. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All in all, I'm going to give Steve very high marks for this year's evaluation. From his handling of the Galvin project with the school department to the restoration of the playing fields at the high school, and his way of presenting to the board each year with a balanced budget for us to approve, to addressing each of our needs. And most of us see him on a regular basis, and I don't think any of us have ever had an issue with the way he responds to any of our requests. Steve has taken on each and every one of the issues that has been presented before him, and he has fulfilled each one of his duties as an administrator. And the job of the administrator is to manage. I think he's doing an outstanding job at doing that. After his last evaluation, I suggested to him that we, take a look at the town's website. He's worked on that, and today we have something new for the people to look at and to work with. We also try to address the needs of the downtown in various forms, and Steve worked with the state to get us monies for a downtown improvement. This year, I've asked him to look on a couple of issues for me as we move forward and to see how things go. And there is issues with Montrose Street right now that I'd like to get him to look at as far as odor is concerned, and issues with Linfield with the redirection of traffic towards Wakefield. All in all, Steve, great job, high marks. I'm gonna give you the 5 as put before us. Steve and I came up with an idea for the board to consider at some point, and that would be regarding to work together to help promote business development in Wakefield. And trying a joint meeting of the 3 policy-making boards, the Board of Selectmen, the school committee, and the MLD.
Tri-board?
Tri-board.
The old tri-board that became the
Okay.
bi-board.
And all of us have a stake in making this community better. So with that said, again, Steve, high marks.
Thank you.
Thanks. Pat?
Yeah, I'll echo Betsy's sentiments. I think we're very fortunate to have Steve at the helm. I too have been on the board since Steve became town administrator, and Steve's learned and grown with the process, and every year has learned more and taken on more, and every challenge that he's faced with, he's met head-on and been, for the most part, successful. And he seems to have almost an intuition of where the town needs to go and how to get there. He's very good collaborating with groups. He's a real leader, and I know his people respect him. I respect him. I respect his ability. And I think it seems to be the overwhelming sentiment every year. That being said, I think, personally, I think we ought to do away with this process of evaluating him on film. I think that this form that we're given to fill out is maybe outdated and could be looked at and redone to something that's a little more suitable to the job that Steve's assigned. I don't know of any other town official or employee, for that matter, that gets reviewed on film. Thankfully, for the most part, the sentiment here is positive. But what if it weren't positive at some point? I would like to see this done behind closed doors between each selectman, and then it's documented, and then if somebody see it, they can. I just find it, we've gone through this every year, and I just think it could be done in a better way. That's just my personal feeling, but, Steve, you get a 5 in my book.
Thank you.
For the record.
Even though he's the one who gives us the form?
He's not,
Wasn't his idea.
Brian, he's doing what he was told to
I
do by
know.
the Board of Selectmen.
I'm just kidding. Good point, though. Go ahead.
I echo what almost everyone says. I can't imagine, I was trying to come up with areas of improvement, I have none, honestly. I've worked in larger businesses, smaller. I think Steve's personality has a combination of, or not just personality, but the intelligence, transparency, fairness, integrity, and the common sense. And the common sense part to me is what I value as much as anything else. Your ability to solve problems, and as Phyllis said, tiny little problems, but to the people they affect, they are not tiny. We may see them as small. The ability to bring people together, and we saw this with the issue that was at town meeting, the land issue last time, where common sense to fix a problem where every person was satisfied that that issue affected is something that not many people can do. So I think we are so lucky in this town to have you. We are as well-informed as any board, I'm sure, that has been in the past. So I couldn't be happier. It's only my second review. I kind of agree with you, Pat, that I think the procedure should be looked at. But if we're giving numbers, 5, I can't even imagine anything less. We're very lucky in this town.
Thank you. Yeah, so my rating is equally as favorable. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to the numbers on the form and those things as much as I do a write-up for each topic. And I've actually have one that I signed and can give to Sherry to put in whatever record we put it in, but just, for Steve's file and so forth. Few things that I just really harped on, the communication, all great, but kind of what you were touching on, just I find Steve's patience to be, as I called it in the review, his greatest weapon. When any of us would crack and react emotionally, or any normal human being would, go in a different direction, Steve takes a deep breath and sits down and figures out how to solve it. And I think that's his one of his greatest assets in dealing, whether it's dealing with, votes in the town, personnel matters, union issues, contract negotiations, litigation in the town, a pothole, the little things that matter to so many people. Just his ability to approach everything with just his head on a swivel, and creative solutions, and again, that patience to just, okay, let's sit down and figure out how we get from point A to point B, and what do we really need to do to respond. He takes the emotion out of it, but not the care. And I think that's just a huge asset in dealing with all of us and a public who watches everything you do every day. So there are a lot of people out there in the world who have, 25,000+ people that are looking at what they do every day and judging it. So to that end, I think your performance is wonderful. The rest of it speaks for itself. The finance, folks, we set wonderful budgets and we come in under them. Money to the coffers from the staffs that report to Steve, because he's managing them and having them return money at the end of the year, which is unheard of in a public situation. So, those kind of accomplishments, again, speak for themselves. But, at the end of the day, the patience and the strategic thinking and creative thinking all come down to leadership. Whenever anything comes up in this town, we all kind of look to Steve. Al can speak for us and say, what do you think? Where are we? And we listen to him and pay attention. And we're not the only ones. I think everybody in town hall, the police department, the fire department, and the people in this town, what does Steve think? And that's not something you just get anointed with. That's something you earn, and you've certainly done that. So thank you for your service to the town. And, great job, and we will look into revamping the form, for sure, because I agree with you. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead.
The meetings with you guys is what really means the most. We go over things that for the town of Wakefield, and some of them are coming true, and some of them we got to work a little harder to make, but I think we'll go there. I'm blessed with a great board, and I hear a lot of woes from the managers around me, town administrators and managers about, their board and how they get along, and I tell them, geez, I have no complaints. This board is fabulous, they're focused, they're doing what's right for the town that they live in, and that doesn't happen in every other city. The other thing is I have great department heads who really work hard and who care about the town as well. Makes my job a lot easier. Great legal help, and I have great help with my assistant over here who really keeps things going in downtown. So thank you, Sherry, for all that you do. So, and thank you. And
Great.
I agree, I hate this meeting too.
Yeah, I know.
This is the last one, I hope.
All right, great. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
And thank you all board members for being with him. So, the next item is a gift to the library of $803.94. Motion to allow it to
So
be
moved.
accepted and
Second.
expended. Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. All right, for the next part of our meeting, we have several licenses that need to be basically renewed, and so we have a list of approvals here. As the licenses are all, they're in categories, and as they have all been published in our public notice for this meeting, I won't read off every business's or licensee's name. We'll just go through them category by category. If anybody has an objection to that or wants to discuss any one of them, let me know. So the first one we're looking at is the common victualler license, and we'd like to get a motion to approve all of the licenses as presented.
So moved.
Mr. Chairman, I want to recuse myself from section A.
Okay? So moved by Betsy and seconded by
Paul?
Paul. So all in favor of the common victualler licenses?
Aye.
Okay. That was unanimous. Pat recused himself. Next section are liquor licenses for restaurants. There's a list of a whole bunch of them listed here. Can I get a motion to approve the liquor licenses?
So moved as presented.
Second?
Moved by Betsy, second by Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Liquor license for inn holders. There are two there. Get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Aye. Second?
Betsy and Paul.
Yeah.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Next one, liquor license for a club. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Recuse?
Second.
Moved by Betsy, seconded
By Ann.
by Ann. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
One recuse.
Oh, one recused, Paul
Yep.
recused, sorry about that. Next one, liquor license, beer and wine.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Betsy, seconded by Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
License for package stores.
So moved.
Moved by Betsy,
Second.
seconded by Pat.
Recuse?
Paul has recused himself, all in favor?
Aye.
Lodging house license, motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Pat, seconded by Betsy, all in favor?
Aye.
Entertainment license, motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Pat, seconded by Betsy, all in favor?
Aye.
Fortune teller license for psychic reading, since it's one of them, I will.
I say it every year, she should know the answer.
Yeah, yeah.
Second.
Want a shocker? No. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Got it. Automated device license. No motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Betsy, seconded by
Second.
Ann. All in favor?
Recuse?
Aye.
Aye. Paul Denoco recused himself. Class 1 dealer license. Motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Betsy. Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Class 2 dealer license. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved
Second.
by Pat, seconded by Betsy. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. And that's it for our licenses. If people want to know who got approved, again, it's in the public notice, so. Coming up in the end here, correspondence, we had letters from Verizon, there's a number of letters here, Chamber of Commerce. Do we want to talk about the Chamber of Commerce letter, or we're good? We already talked
We
about that.
talked about that,
We
and
asked you to
actually,
respond.
asked Ms. Tom, and actually tomorrow morning, building inspector and the sign compliance officer are meeting with the executive board of the chamber to discuss it
Okay, good.
further, so.
Yeah, I thought your letter was well done, like, hey, we're not trying to cause people problems, we're just
No.
trying to
No.
educate really at this point, so. And that was with respect to, sign bylaw, so. We have, litigation, Robert Mitchell has sued the town, over the town meeting and is asking us to reconvene the town meeting. And town council's dealing with that, so. Any comments on that, let me know, and we have a letter from Senator Jason Lewis regarding our local funding. Around the table, town council.
Yep, nothing, thanks.
Nothing. Steve.
A couple of quick things. Number one, I know that the board over the years has asked a lot of questions about double polls. And it's very frustrating the way that things work there. But I will say that the MMA has filed legislation again on this matter that states that would give the municipality a ability to notify the offending party, and that if they do not remove their power or change their power or their wires within 90 days, that there would be a $1,000 fine per. So, you know, the legislatures are trying to move this in some sort of a direction. I just thought I would bring the board up to date on that. Second of which, we had a very successful, Selectman Janako mentioned the website revamping. We had a very good, soft development meeting with a bunch of volunteers that came in the public safety building. I think people seemed very excited about it. Very different, the pathways are very different, the way you navigate through it is very different. Content is gonna be held differently, and people seem very happy and with the progress on it. I will say that we will also have a Facebook page. In fact, it's on our existing website. I think there will probably be some Ask the Town Administrator button on there. That I think Selectman Santos was very happy with. And we have 615 likes on our Facebook page, so existing, so whatever that thing well. Lastly, I want to congratulate Selectman Janako on a very successful holiday stroll. I saw people that had a lot of fun downtown, as did I, and I do want to thank Paul and his team for asking me to judge the cookie contest. I figured I would say that before Selectman Falvey mentioned that they picked the right man for the job. So,
Never met a cookie, didn't I?
but it was a great day held by all, and I think that a lot of merchants had very good days, which is what it was about too. So you had some people that said that this was one of the best days that they had for some of the restaurants downtown, so thank you, it was a very nice day, thank you.
Phyllis, you have 3 minutes allocated. Go ahead.
You're not gonna
You're
get away
dreaming.
with it tonight like you did the last meeting.
Yeah, for everybody at home, Phyllis
Okay.
told me she has a lot this
All
evening,
right, the
so
first thing
go
that I
ahead.
want to bring up is that I work at the same, right across from there where the Wakefield Cooperative and Jeffrey's Liquor Store is the parking lot. If we had gone ahead and built our garage, we wouldn't be having this problem. But anyway, the cars that park down in that area, the lighting is so bad. You know, with the bad weather and everything, I have seen people slip and slide. What I'm here tonight is to ask Town Administrator Steve Mayo to please talk to the WMGLG and, what's his name?
Pete Dion.
Peter Dion?
Peter Dion. There is a light there, halfway down where the railing is, where the car, but it's not lit. But down at the other end, it's really dangerous. There is a pole there, and I'm hoping that when you talk to him, he would be willing to put a light there, because there's no place to work at noontime. It's terrible. You drive around, and I have to park way down in that area, and it's so dark at night you can't see. And I see other people with this bad weather really having a hard time. So my one request tonight is to ask him to please, they wrote this big column in the paper not too long ago saying how good they are and how they want to help the town. So tell them, this is what we need. We need them to help us to do this. Okay.
Absolutely.
Too bad you were gonna have covered parking and a well-lit and safe garage.
I thought you were gonna ask for a garage.
I know,
It was there for the taking.
no, it was.
Okay, then my second thing is that I have spoken to Steve, and it's amazing that the people that get in touch with me, and ex-firemen, the bridge, I don't know if all of you are familiar, there's a bridge that goes off of North Avenue. You go down Wynn Street and you go over, and that bridge has been closed for years. And I understand that if there ever is a fire or any of those houses down there, the way the streets are situated, that the fire trucks would have a real difficult time going around to Elm Street and getting to those homes. It would be so much easier, and there wouldn't be any danger if the fire engines could go down North Avenue and go over that bridge. And so, I don't know why the bridge is closed, but I'm trying to find out what we can do to open that bridge for the safety of the people in that area.
I think opening that bridge would probably be, I think it's probably closed because of safety.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Because
have
it's
you been
in
over
bad
that bridge?
shape?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, who do we go to get it fixed so
I
that,
think we go to the
MBTA.
MBTA, the old B&M Railroad.
Yeah.
I think it's a railroad.
who would
Steve's
be?
on it.
We'll be looking into
So
that
I think
as
there's
well.
two things. The ability of our fire department to safely reach those houses, and if they are comfortable that it's safe, then it might kind of render the issue moot. If there is an issue there, and maybe there's other reasons for that bridge to be repaired anyway, we could look into it with the MBTA.
Okay. All right.
Time's up.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Oh, is that it, really?
No.
Oh, no, she's got a legal pad filled here.
Go ahead, Phyllis.
She does.
All good, thank you.
Okay, everybody knows that the town has a wonderful system. I want people to understand how important this is. You know, if you need help, or we have this program where you can work for the town for 62 and a half hours and have $500 taken off your taxes. And that was one of the things that's very helpful to me. And of course, where they sent me was to the superintendent's office to work. Now, many times I have to go by the front, and many times I go into this office through the side. And I want to make this clear. First place, I'm very upset that we're doing $150,000 for a feasibility study for the high school when the Greenwood School needs it so bad. This is the only way I can get this out for the people to understand. And we've been putting it off and putting it off. I don't understand why the school committee keeps putting off taking care of that Greenwood School. And the reason I'm not interested in, because you go by that high school, the shades are a mess. When you go through the front, the floors are dirty, the windows are dirty, but now I work a few hours in the superintendent's office, right? I cannot believe that the toilet facilities for the women are so bad. When I say bad, I mean, I can't believe that those women have to put up with that to go in. It's dingy, dirty, crowded, little sink, light. You know, I just cannot believe it. So, like I say, I'm not interested in forming any more committees. I really feel like maybe the school committee and the DPW, I think we need a division of facilities that reports to the DPW, someone that can take care and maintain us. It's not fair. It's not fair to the people that they have to put up with this. You know, it's like we plan to let the school deteriorate. We plan to let it get dirty. We plan to let it, so we can spend more money to build a new school, you know?
Yeah, I think you're actually onto something. Remember, Chip Tarbell came in here and he did the jointly commissioned study by both the town and the school department to assess, you know, things like that, cleanliness and the work that's being done and the maintenance levels at the different schools. And I think he would agree with your
Yeah, and-
sentiments and your recommendations. So
You know, I
Yeah.
think that if the school committee and the town and the DPW, they could come to that agreement, because if they don't come to that agreement where, I mean, just to go in there, I mean, I know I'm going on and on, but I just can't believe that I had to go in there and I'm seeing these poor people, the school teachers and the people that work in that office have to,
Right.
you know, go with this. I mean, they should be able to come to some agreement where the DPW can do something to take care. If not, then I think I'd like to ask Mr. Mullen, if there's something in the charter and we get to change it, I'll get signatures and we'll go change the charter.
We certainly could have a charter change about that kind of thing, yes.
okay.
You know?
I think we'll look into it. I mean, as part of before we before we jump to an outside charter change, let's do an inside, what's the right plan for the town and kind of,
But we
So you-
have to do, we can't let it stay like this.
no, I think, well, remember, that whole plan, or excuse me, that study that was done, was done just for that reason. Let's assess where we are, what's the current, status of the maintenance of our schools and all our town buildings, but our schools, and, what can we do to improve it? And I think there were a lot of recommendations in there, including discussion about perhaps the reporting structure and who works for who and that kind of thing to get some efficiency and some better accountability. So you're absolutely onto it, and it's fortunately it's being worked. But I don't know, Steve, is there a next step on that study?
Yeah, it's being worked on, and I know that the superintendent and I have spoken about this, and he's hot to get this, get a new model that we can all agree on earlier, because, Phyllis is absolutely right. We need to do a better job taking care of our facilities, not just the schools, but townwide
Yeah,
as well.
that's every
Yeah.
place in the town.
Yep.
Okay, just one more thing.
You got all the time you want. Go ahead. Sort of.
Yeah, next year at Christmas, I heard something silly like, that beautiful Christmas tree, I want big lights on that tree. I don't want these tiny little LEDs on that gorgeous tree downtown. I want to see big, bright lights on there. And when somebody tells me, oh, the wiring or something, we got a ton of electricians in this town. Fix the damn wiring and put lights on the tree.
Merry Christmas.
And that's me. Okay.
There you go. Or else.
Steve, you on bigger lights?
I am, absolutely.
Hey, Phyllis, I have fun with you. Thank you. All good stuff, really.
Okay, I'm done. Wasn't
No,
that bad?
all great.
God, no.
It never
Could have been
is.
so much worse.
No, thank you, Phyllis. Appreciate it.
Just two things. During this holiday season, I hope the people at home will remember those in this community that are less fortunate, and we'll go down and make some, whether it be food or money, to the Wakefield Interfaith Food Pantry, or the charity of your choice. There's always someone that needs something more, and a little bit, if we all pull together, will make a difference in some people's lives. And secondly, I'd just like to wish happy holidays to everyone here at the board, all of our municipal employees, the great volunteers and staff at WCAT that put up with us every other week, and all of the citizens of Wakefield. I hope everyone has a happy and healthy holiday season, and Merry Christmas to all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, thank you. Two items, real quickly. As Steve touched upon, we had the holiday stroll this past weekend. A little rain came down, but it didn't deter us. Vice Chairwoman Ann Santos gave greetings from the town. Thank you very much. It was a great afternoon. To the delight of children of all ages. I mean, there were smiles on a lot of people, regardless of the rain. Mr. and Mrs. Claus came Main Street with their elf guide, leading them along the way. Children were just beaming at the sight of Santa. It was a great afternoon, all in all. But it's the town of Wakefield. This is all good for. It's nothing else but to benefit the town. And when the community comes together like that, it just shows how truly good Wakefield truly is. With that, I have to thank my committee for the outstanding job with another fabulous event. All the volunteers that stepped forward to help out, the school department for taking a bigger part in this year's festivities, the DPW, the fire, the police, this board from 5 years ago having the faith to appoint this committee to do the work of the community. So thank you to this board as well. My second item on that I would like just to really briefly, PW workers that came to my house the day of the stroll. I had a water meter that let go, and water was quickly filling the downstairs. Chris Hunt and Louis Perillo came to my rescue, and they did an outstanding job getting the meter changed.
Water's been cruel to you over the years.
Water has
Yeah,
been very
it
cruel
has.
to me over the years,
Yeah,
in
it
all forms.
I know that. Yeah, I know that.
But I would like to just thank them for making the necessary repairs and short work, and I wanted to echo the same thing as Betsy did. Happy holidays to everyone, and a Merry Christmas to one and all. Thank you.
Thank you. Patrick?
Yep, and I want to echo the sentiments of Betsy. This time of year, it's important to give back to those in the community, in our community, that aren't as fortunate as we happen to be. And I want to wish everyone out there a safe and happy holiday. Or two, with all that's going on, you're hearing protests about the police and things that seems to be sweeping the nation right now. It just makes me think about how fortunate we are here in Wakefield with a lot of the problems, to me, on a kind of a simple level. It's communication and outreach to different parts of the community, and you see that example here with our own police department, with all they've done with outreach to the mental health, to get trained and to learn more about how to handle certain issues, so that when they go in, that it's not a tense situation. So I think we're very fortunate, and I credit Chief Smith and I think that, once again, we're very fortunate to have a department, a very progressive department like that, so, thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
I have a few things. I want to congratulate my cousin, Michael Boyages, who retired, had his last football game on Thanksgiving. He's been coaching in Wakefield since 1980. He's been the head coach since 1997 and amassed a really great record, 131, 60, and 3. I think Michael has always been very unassuming. It's never been about him. His agenda has always been to do the best he could for the players, and I think it will be a loss to the sports community in Wakefield that Michael is moving on, but still, happily, still young. He'll do other things, but he's been, homeboy bred here and working for the town. So I give him my congratulations and love. With regard to the interfaith food pantry, when I was at Shaw's the other day, you can choose to grab $5, $10, or $15 right at the cash register to the Wakefield food pantry. So instead of going to buy cans and lugging them down, it's something they're doing this year. It's a great way and a very convenient way to contribute to those in our town. When I was at the stroll, I went in the arts center. What do we call it, Steve? The art something on the old gas and light building.
The
on
town
Albion
building
Street.
on Albion Street.
The town building, the town-owned building on Albion Street. And it was great, and the energy was really cool. And there's a whole newly formed adult artist community in Wakefield that is very excited what might happen in that building, and what you could imagine that could be a really nice place for people to walk into and purchase and to see and to rent space and to use as an artist. So I thought it was great. And finally, on the Ask Steve Facebook button, clear, Ask Town Administrator.
I can't wait for that.
Well, if it gets out of control, I have no problem shutting it down. Wakefield Facebook pages have been gone from ridiculous to nasty to completely uninformed and moronic in this town. And I just wanted to make it clear that our town-sponsored Facebook page will be full of facts, will be kind, will have civility, and if it's not, we're going to unfriend and delete posts. No, but I will talk to the administrator because I am not a part of
Sounds
those
like she should
other
be.
groups because of the nonsense
Yeah.
on them. So, and happy holidays. To
On that note,
Happy holidays to all you people. Yeah, no. I'm good. Like we've had a lot to say tonight. Thank you very much again, Steve, for doing a great job again, really. It's worth pointing that out. Even as we go around the table here, I think for that building that you talked about, right? Just so, the reuse of the WMGLD building. So, great job again, and really, on behalf of everybody, happy holidays and Merry Christmas, and we'll see you in January, the start of a wonderful new year. So, except that.
Accept that.
Cameras, go over there. Phyllis, yes.
Listen, the reason I
I will
wanted to
listen.
say this is because
go ahead.
I know I'm the different person on this board.
No, you're not.
I know I come up with things,
You don't.
and I understand. However, the one thing I do want to say is all your patience, all of you, and the respect that you show me, this is what I want to thank you for.
Okay.
And I wish you happy holidays.
No, right back at you, Phyllis. So we think you're great. It's been a pleasure having you and serving with you. So, no, thank you. I think you embody the true representative form of government. You've got constituents that reach out to you, and nobody can argue with that. So,
Second.
apparently,
I thought you said you were all set.
I guess I'm all done. No, I'm just kidding. It's all good. It's all good. There's been a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Oh, really? All in favor? All right. Thank you very much, everybody.